Hey guys, welcome back to the Care YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to code and program your very own egg dropping game in Scratch. Firstly, our objectives. Hopefully by the end of today's video, you guys will be familiar with X and Y positioning, loops, variables, random values, broadcast messages, if-then statements, touching statements, and we will be exploring costume management. And the final project of today's video is a functional egg dropping game. And here's an example of the type of game that we'll be creating today. And I'll give you a quick demonstration. So this is a sample test game that I created. And when you click the Go green flag, the egg starts at the top of the screen and then you can control it using the arrow keys to land in the basket. So let's get started. So you guys want to open up the Scratch website at scratch.mit.edu and make sure to log in to save your progress. Let's go to the Scratch website, so here, and I'm already logged into my account, but if you guys need to log in, there should be a sign in button at the top right here. And if you guys need to create an account, you can very quickly do that by creating a username, a password, and providing your parents' email. So pause the video and take some time to get that set up. Just make sure that you are logged in, because if you're not, your progress will not save. But yeah, this is the Scratch website. So today we will be creating our own game, but if you guys have the time, I would recommend clicking Explore here, and you can even check out some games that other people have made, so it's pretty cool. But let's start by clicking the Create button at the top left. And so this is our project. This is what, coding in Scratch kind of looks like. And every time you create a project, they give you a default sprite, this orange cat here, but we don't need it, so we can just delete it first. So click the trash can and click yes to delete the sprite. And let's name and save our project now. So today we are making a egg drop game, so I'm gonna call it egg drop. And this is the save button here. So in the top right, anytime you want to take a break or you're about to leave from coding, make sure you click this button so all your work has been saved. And more about the Scratch basics. So on the left, these are your code blocks. So in Scratch, you kind of just drag and drop the code blocks and connect them together to create a working program. Okay. And to delete them, you click it and you can press delete or backspace, either one works. And then your backdrops are your background, so Scratch offers a lot of personalization for your backdrops, and you can also add sound to your game. But let's start with adding the backdrop. So go to the bottom right, hover over choose a backdrop, and do the first option, which is to search for a backdrop. So Scratch has a lot of different options. You could honestly do whichever theme you really want, but today we're making an egg drop game, so I'm gonna go with the farm. Now we want to add in our egg, which is called a sprite in Scratch. So all the characters are called sprites. So let's add a sprite. Do the same thing, hover over this cat icon, click search, and there's actually an egg in here, so go to the top search bar, you can search up egg and add it in. The way that sprites appear in Scratch is called costumes. So here you can click into the costumes tab for this egg, and this is basically called costume management. So there are many different versions of the egg. We will be using the first one for now. We will also be using this one later on when the egg drops. Its size is 100, so that's a good thing to keep in mind when you are positioning it in your game. So now that we're done with the egg, we're ready to start coding. So let's go back to the code tab and make sure you just follow along with the steps that I'm doing. Feel free to pause the video if you need to catch up. Okay, so all code in Scratch usually starts with an event block, and this block is called when the green flag is clicked. So it's the first one here. Click and drag it to your workspace here, and the green flag is right here. So during the demo you guys saw, once I clicked this flag, the game started. So that's basically how you're going to start your programs in Scratch. It's by clicking this green flag. So this event block kind of senses that. So once the green flag is clicked, we want our egg to go to a specific position, right? So like I mentioned, when it starts, the egg is at the very top of our screen and it's in the center. Okay, so here is a quick reference photo about X and Y positioning. So in Scratch, the way you position your sprites is going to use X and Y coordinates. So it's basically a coordinate system. You might have already learned this in math, but the center of your screen is going to be X equals 0, Y equals 0. If you want to move it right, it's going to be in the positive X. If you want to move it left, negative X. And if you want to move it up, like in the upwards direction, it's positive Y, down is negative Y. So this is a really good reference photo, especially for Scratch, because it gives you the dimensions of the kind of like the game or the screen in Scratch. So in Scratch, the coordinates, they go all the way to negative 240 to positive 240 in the X, negative 180 to positive 180 in the Y. So since we want the egg to be in the middle, in the top middle of our screen, the X is going to be around, well, it's going to be 0 if you want it to be in the middle, and the Y, it's going to be around 180. Might be a little bit less because, again, our egg is 100 in size, so we'll have to do some checking there. Back to our code now. To move the egg, we want to use a blue motion block, so click the blue motion tab, and you're going to want to use this code right here. It's called the go to X and Y position. So like I said, X in the beginning, the egg is going to be at the top middle of your screen, so X is going to be 0 because that's the center. Y, the Y goes all the way up to 180, but since the egg is like 100 in size, let's just try not 180 exactly, but 150. So to test it, we're going to click the green flag and see where the egg is. So, okay, the egg is right there. One thing I'm noticing is it's kind of hard to see the egg. So to fix that, we can actually go back to costumes here. And right now the egg is very similar shade to the background here. So we can actually change the color of the egg. Remember, we're using the first costume here. If you click on the egg, you can see that right now it's filled with this sort of color. Instead of making it this color, we can actually make it lighter. So if you drag this around, you can make it lighter. We can also have an outline. So click the egg again, outline, you can adjust it to make the outline black, I believe. And there's this little highlight here. It looks a little bit weird right now, but honestly, take some time to play around with it. I changed a little bit to make it lighter, and now I'm happy with the way my egg looks. So you guys take some time to adjust your egg, make it look however you want, colors wise. Okay, so now that that's fixed, and we have our egg in the correct beginning position, we're gonna start with coding its movement. So go back to the Events tab, it's light orange. Get another one of these when the green flag is clicked box. We're going to do a loop now. So loops are found in the orange control tab, so go to that. And then loops in Scratch, we use the repeat block. So right here, repeat, and then however many times. So whatever you put inside this block will be repeated 10 times, 20 times, however many times you want. But we're going to go with 200 right now, and you'll see why in a second. So whatever's in here will repeat 200 times. Let's go back to the motion tab, the blue one, and we want the egg to continuously move downwards. So when you're talking about up and down, you're talking about the y-axis. So we are going to be using this block right here, change y by however many you want. And instead of 10, because that would make it going up, we're actually going to make it -2, like that. And 200 times this loop will run, and the egg will move down by -2 each time. So let's click go and see what it looks like. There you go, the egg is moving down slowly. Okay, and after 200 times, it'll stop right there. Okay, so now let's code the control movements of the egg. So the player is going to control the egg using the left and right arrow keys. So let's get started on that. You're going to want to go to the Events tab and get one of these blocks when space key is pressed. However, it's not going to be the space. We're going to go with the left arrow first. So when the player clicks left arrow, we want the egg to move to the left, obviously. And when you're moving to the left, that is going to be the negative x. So let's go back to motion, which is blue, and this time get a change x by whatever number. And we're going to try -5 here, so negative number means it's going to move to the left. Let's do the same thing for the right arrow, so click on the yellow block, Control C, Control V, copy and paste it, and instead of left arrow, change this to right arrow, and if you want to move to the right, that's going to be in the positive x direction this time, so just change it to 5 here. And let's see if this works. So click the green flag, and you can see as it moves down, you can control the egg using your arrows. That works pretty well. One thing to note, if you want to make the game a little easier or a little harder, you can change these values. So, for example, if you want to make it easier, change these values to a bigger number, both of them, for example 10. That way, when you click the arrows, you can move the egg much faster, actually double as quick. So that makes it easier on the player, if you guys want. Also, you can make it harder on the player or easier by changing this number. For example, if we go down to -5, the egg is going to move a lot faster downwards, so that makes it trickier to get it in the basket. So change the values to whatever you guys prefer. I'm going to keep it like this though. Now we're basically done with the code for our egg, so let's add in the basket. That's going to be a completely new sprite, so go back down to choose a sprite, hover over it, and click search. And I checked beforehand, and I don't think Scratch has its own basket sprite. So the closest thing I could find was the bowl, so we're just going to use that here. Another option would be to find your own image, remove the background, and upload it as a sprite, or you could draw/paint your own bowl or basket. But the bowl works for now, so I'm just going to rename it to our basket right here. Rename the sprite. And it looks a little bit small for our egg right now, so I'm going to increase its size instead of 100 to maybe 120. Yeah, that works. Okay, as for the bowl's position, it will be moving at the bottom of our screen to the left and to the right randomly. So to get it to the bottom, if you recall the reference photo for Scratch's coordinate plane, it goes all the way down to -180 in the Y. However, we might not want to go down that far because the bowl is 120 in size. So let's just try like -160. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, now to have our bowl move at the bottom of our screen to the left and to the right randomly. So we're going to want to start with an event block, so the light orange, and then always you're going to start with a when green flag is clicked block. And after that, we're going to follow it with a forever loop. So instead of doing a normal loop where you repeat something a certain amount of times, a forever loop will continuously run to no end unless you stop it, of course. So to generate a random x value, we're going to utilize a variable. So variables are very useful tools. They store some sort of data or data set in them, and you can access it at any point. You can use it in various methods. So let's rename our variable to something more reflective of what it will be. So I'm going to call it new x here because it will be our random x value. And we're going to use this block here, set new x to, and instead of 0, we're going to generate a random value. So that can be found in the green operators tab. Click that, and then you can find this oval shaped block. It aligns perfectly here, and it says pick random. So going back to the reference photo, Scratch's coordinate, its x-axis goes from -240 to +240. So that will be our range here, and that will give a random x value throughout the screen. So now that we've set new x to this random value, let's actually use it. So we're going to move the bowl to that value going back to the Blue Motion tab, and we're going to have it glide there so it looks smooth. So glide 1 second, let's change that to 4 seconds so it has enough time to glide. And then the Y itself, we already know it will stay the same, so negative 160. However, for the X, instead of putting our own number in, we're going to use the variable we just created. So go back to variables, and then you can take this new X here and it fits perfectly right there. So now the bowl should be moving randomly at the bottom of our screen. You can see, perfect. Okay, now we're going to add our game over and you win screens. So that's going to be another 2 sprites, except this time we're going to paint our own. So go back here and click paint. And I'm going to start with the rectangle tool here. So you can click that and draw your own rectangle. Okay, and you can add your own text. So you can say like game over. And you can really customize this and make this look however you want, change the color, the font, etc. Okay, so I like the look of this, and make sure you move it to the middle of the screen because that's where it's going to appear, right here. Good, and then instead of doing this whole thing again, you can actually duplicate your sprite here. Before doing that, let's rename this so it's easier to distinguish. Game over. Okay, and right click on the sprite, you can click duplicate, and you'll have the same thing. Move it back to the center, and instead of game over, I'm gonna call it you win. And make it green. And don't forget to rename this sprite to you win. Okay, and so we only want these screens to show up when the game has actually ended. So we want to hide them at first. So let's go back to events. When green flag is clicked, make sure you're in either one of these two, and then go to the purple looks tab, and we want to hide it. So use this block here, and it should disappear. So copy this, Control C, and you're going to paste it, Control V, into the you win sprite as well. Now to finish the eggs logic, so click back into the egg. We're going to be working under this block of code here. So we're going to add in a forever loop, dark orange here. It's going to be continuously checking if the egg either touches the basket or touches the edge. So we're going to use an if statement there. It's found in the same tab. This if then statement, the block that goes in here is called a conditional. So you're going to find that in the sensing tab. It's like medium blue, I guess. And we're going to be using this block here. It's the first one. It's a touching statement, so it checks if two objects are colliding with each other or touching. If touching, let's go with the basket. So if the egg is touching the basket, that means the player has won. So we're going to broadcast a message to the other sprites. It's in light orange events, broadcast, and instead of message 1, we're going to do win. Okay, great. And then do the same thing, but if the egg is touching the edge of the screen. So copy this part, starting with the if statement, Control C, Control V, drag it in under that, and then if the egg is touching, this time, the edge, not the basket, the player has lost. So we're going to broadcast a new message called lose. Okay, now for the two screens to actually receive this message, let's click back to the game over screen, and we're going to stay in events, and we're going to use this block right here, when I receive blah blah blah. So this is when I receive whatever broadcast message it is. So lose is actually perfect here because that's what we need. And you're going to go back to looks, which is purple, and show itself. And then you want to stop all movement. So that's going to be in the control tab, dark orange, and stop all is right here. So there we go. And then let's copy this. So Control C, Control V into the you win sprite, and change this to, instead of lose, change this to win. Final addition here is to change the look of the egg when it falls to the ground. So go back to egg, and we're going to click into costumes. So we're going to use egg B here, so change it to match egg A. I'm also going to flip the egg vertically so it looks like it actually hit the ground. Okay, now go back to your code, and you're going to want to add 1 or 2 pieces of code here. So they're in the purple looks category, and it's going to be switch costume to whatever. So when the green flag is clicked, put this right under there. And since we have 2 costumes, when the game starts, it's going to be egg A here, and another one. So when you lose or when you touch the edge or the ground, the egg is going to change to the broken one, which is egg B. So now let's test it. Here you can see the egg is perfectly fine. If we win, the win screen pops up, and what if we miss the basket and it hits the ground? You can see the egg will be broken and game over. And that concludes today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed coding the egg drop game with me. Some additional ideas to implement would be to add music or sound effects, add different levels, or to add obstacles for the egg to avoid. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you made it this far, comment down below what your favorite thing that you learned today was. Don't forget to check out Care and our other social media, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.